Hey guys, and welcome to the next episode of Behind the Swipes. Here I'm joined by PrismaticPaul. How you doing, Paul?
Mm. Hello, hello. I'm doing pretty fine today. And thanks for inviting me here. As you can see, I won the poll for this episode, like by a lot. I love democracy. But I'm glad everyone wanted to see me here, and so I'm here now, and I'm ready to talk.
Yep, definitely. There's been a couple complications regarding some stuff that have happened recently, but we won't let that get in the way of today's episode. Um, okay, let's start with your. You ready?
Sure, I'm ready.
Cool. So
So, do you want to talk about like my history or how I joined? How does this usually go?
it's all good. So I'll just run through a list of questions basically, and you just answer them as we go along, and
All right, all right.
feel free to divert off if you like. Neil was pretty good at that. Um, all right. When did you start playing .o?
I started playing basically the first day the game was released. So this was like July 2017,
Yep.
and it's been a few long years since then. Uh, and it's really great to witness like the whole period of the game, like from start to like now to the present moment. And I don't know, when looking back at the start, the servers were terrible, but it carries a sense of like nostalgia to it, if you
Mm.
get what I mean.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
yeah, I played like since the beginning, but there are still people who are far more stacked than I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's just how it happens, and some people are more active than others as well. Um.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you haven't been playing for 4 years straight, of course.
Well, yeah, I've been on and off
Mm.
for a bit. I think I made a few like shorter breaks, but recently I just decided to call it a day because I think I've had a fair share of Dot for now.
Yeah.
So I'll be also hosting a giveaway real soon.
Oh, look out
Do
for
you
that,
hear this,
guys.
viewers? Do
Yeah,
you hear this, viewers? A giveaway,
I might
a
enter it.
chance to win, a chance to win my Guthars. Don't tell Swig, please.
Swig, click off the video.
You're not allowed to get them.
oh dear. Oh, all right. And how did you find Defender of Texel online?
So I knew about the original game, but I never was really that much into it. Like when I hear people talking about the forums and stuff they did in the old game, I just can't relate because I I was just a dumb 14-year-old kid who didn't know how to like trade for shit. Um, so how I found about this is weird. I think I was um checking out YouTube, and there was a recommended video from Defender of Texel, like an old one. And
Mm.
then I just visited the wiki and found the project page somehow. And I was really interested in it. So I waited patiently, and here we are now.
Yep. Okay. That's one of the more unique answers I've gotten. Usually it's either like a De Beers fan video or they seen it just outright off the forum from when the original Dot was quitting and Lambo posted about it. But no, that's pretty cool. I'm glad people are finding it in
Well,
different ways.
well, yeah, it's also, that luck factor when you find something that's related to it and it all starts coming back. And
Yeah.
I guess that's just how it is. It's not the first time I've found out about something based on a YouTube video. Um, Basically, a random YouTube recommendation is what got me into the Shantae series as well. I'm not sure if people know. So, yeah, it's not the first time that has happened to me. YouTube sometimes really hits the nail on the head with the videos they recommend.
Don't tell that, they'll change their algorithm.
Oh no. Do they hear us now?
Oh dear. All right, your reputation as a player. Now, I'm going to be honest. You're going to probably have to fill in the blanks for me because the times that I've played, you've either been a little bit, I guess, not playing as much, and then when I did come back and play for that bit, then you weren't playing as much either. Did you want to fill in the gaps about how you feel as a player? Were you more of like a grinder person? I know you had a Guther line, of course, so that means something.
Well, yeah. I'm not really a fan of grinding that much. So I never really got up to that like tippy tippy top level. But at the beginning, I was actually really a really formidable player, especially with that Sundance event where I finished in top 10.
Yep.
That like month-long event. I'm not sure how, but I did it.
Yep.
Um, and from there, I kind of just float around a little bit. There were a few of those events where I tried harder than usual, but I don't know. I was just mostly waiting for fighters that I liked, and I was busy with other stuff. Either that, or I just didn't have the will to grind. I'm not really as dedicated to this game as some other people are.
Mm.
And maybe one more thing is that during that Sundance event, instead of like going for the how do you call it, Hermes, instead of going for him, I just went for the twins or the Oscary, the Warlock, because I liked them more.
Yep.
And I think that set me back in terms of like knocks later, but
Mm.
I'm not really like mad about it or anything. I mean, the twins proved to, they were really useful. So, I'm happy I had them for as long as I did.
And there was a good point there where Dio was actually worth more than Hermes because Hermes was he was mediocre at the start because of how his skills worked, and then they got fixed and realized he's kind of insane.
Yeah. When you fix something and it becomes broken.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
kind of
much.
reverse engineering. Whoa.
Yep. Dear. Your favorite part of the game?
Hmm. Well, I'm not sure exactly, but I think um I like when you go into a dungeon and you try to figure out what all the enemies do and what are the combinations. I think there's some kind of planning involved in that. Either that or that feeling when you upgrade your band, like when you get another couple fighter, and now you will reach further into the game. Things like that. I was thinking about saying trading, but trading is definitely not my favorite part of the game. Um, well, as for why, I don't know. Maybe take a look at the market and see for yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty hard when the community or the audience is such small sample size.
Yes, it's quite different to the original game because
Mm.
it's as you said, the audience is like way smaller. But I'm still happy to experience this, and maybe because it's also a good thing that the community is smaller because we're closer to each other as opposed to like when there's millions of players.
Mm. Mm. I've like as I said in the past, it definitely feels like more of a family aspect of the game, the community, instead of it being like the original one where, well, for example, I didn't even talk to anyone outside of Neil, but that's because I went to high school with him and played.
No,
So,
well, yeah, I think you're right on that one. Um, I don't think anyone I know actually played this game,
mm,
played the old game, and like in real life, and none of my friends play it now either. So I'm kind of alone in that aspect, but it's fine.
yeah, yeah. And that's another side of like the upside of the Discord as well. You can find other people that you can share stuff with, and they actually understand what you're talking about first of all, and they say, "Oh, that's sick," and I got clapped by your Guthers again in PvP. My Asalina decided to use her sweet delight on him, and They died.
Oh God. Yeah, that's a great strategy. I remember a video that was posted on YouTube. Sadly, it's taken down, but I think VJ Panda posted it. He's
Okay.
one of the players where he faced my Guthar line and he used his gurus, and there was just some kind of like fucking fiesta, I don't know. Basically, there was this glitch, like a bug, where my Guthars just turned into chest, like mimics that could attack, and everything went haywire, and he lost. And I saw that, and I was like, "Wow, this is what we're working with. Lambo, please don't fix this. This is how I can win."
This is beautiful.
I'm not sure if he still has the clip, but if he
I
does, I'll ask him. He might share it again. It was hilarious. I'm gonna be honest.
I do vaguely remember seeing stuff like that, and he would check like a Babak in his inventory, and it was just a completely different fighter. He had like a really fucked game. Oh,
This is like one of those videos, every copy of Defender of Texel is personalized.
yep. Okay. What's your views on? So there's two parts. So there's giveaways and loaning slash renting, even though the latter is now banned. What's your opinions on those two subjects?
Well, since I'm hosting a giveaway myself, I'm required to say that I support them.
Yep.
Okay, I'm kidding, but um, giveaways are fine in my opinion because especially since it's a small community and there a lot of fighters are extremely limited.
Mm.
So instead of being lost to the void, it's better to give it to someone else who will use them, I feel like.
Mm.
And plus, it feels good to help people out um, with a giveaway. Now, when it comes to renting, at first I was opposed to it because I didn't really trust people with that, and people were getting scammed. So I was like, "See, I told you, don't rent to people." But I think after like 2 years, I changed my mind a little bit and started, giving people a few of my fighters just to, let them test drive a little bit
Yep.
for like a small amount of knocks. I gave Caleb my entire Guthar line for like 3 knocks per day or something like that.
Yep. Okay.
Just to let him test drive. But since it's banned now, and it's a fair point why it's banned because it kind of the progress is kind of meaningless because you can use that during a good event, get a lot of knocks, and you can just jump start. Like imagine if you're on a racetrack and you just suddenly jump halfway to the finish line, like you just teleport. And I don't know. I don't think that's really fair,
Mm.
but it's debatable. I mean, people have their own opinions on that, so it's really hard to make a decision that everyone will like the entire player base, and I think that's actually the most difficult part about this.
I think it just comes down to that you just can't make everyone happy. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just got to do
that's
the
right.
correct decision. That's all. For the majority. Um, okay. What's your views on superfuse being added?
I'm gonna be honest with how much people were against it. I was like, well, I don't think it'll be added. At
Mm.
least not now, like in the alpha stage of the game. But I was actually surprised. I'm thankful I had a lot of fighters stacked up. Of course, they weren't the best fodder, but they were useful. I just liked to collect stuff for no reason because it looked cool,
Mm.
and I used some of them to fuse things and test it out. It was fun for me, but I think it's. I'm not sure. I mean, I like it as a concept, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind if Super Fusion was changed to actually do something else instead of adding a percentage of the original fighter stats to another one.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure if you ask the community, you will get a lot of like polarizing answers. People will be for it or against it,
Hmm.
and both will have valid reasons. So I'm not really sure. I like Super Fusion, but not everyone will, especially not the unprepared people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I feel on that.
Yeah, I don't think you're really going to find anyone that's like, I'm not too fussed either way. It's either you hate it or you love it kind of deal.
Well, yeah. Also, another thing about Super Fusion is the disparity between available fodder. It's
Mm,
you can get Kinabari, who gives you like 1,000 agility. You can get him pretty easily now. And if you want to look for health fodder or defense fodder that gives the same, well,
good luck.
you're not gonna find it at that price, certainly.
Mm, yeah,
And I
especially.
feel like with the existence of all these legendary rogues with super powerful sting abilities, just add 3,000 to that, and that'll be around 4,000 to their overall damage output, and good luck defending against that. It's I think that's one problem that I have with Super Fusion now.
Yeah, I would say that's one of my two main gripes about it. Is it makes the priority fighters or the fast fighters just better, and I think that's unfair. Rogues have taken over the game already, and they have for 4 years.
Well, yeah, pretty much. The sole reason I got my private army over here, the champ line, is to be able to stand up to all these rogues, and that doesn't even work every time,
Mm,
sadly.
yeah, yeah. When it goes
But
against the triangle, there's a problem.
yeah, I mean, at least it's something. But think about all the other people that just don't have a way to deal with this. I am one guy who has Guthars. There are a few others, and besides that, how do you deal with them? Well, luck,
Yeah, you use rogues of your own and hope,
pretty
or
much.
just hope they're off proc. Bit hard if it's a Hermes.
Yeah. About oh yes, one more thing I wanted to say about Super Fusion is that it made the epic rogues viable, more
Mm,
specifically preempts.
mm.
I'm not sure how to feel about that per se. So it means that, as you said, rogues are taking over the game even more now. But at the same time, it's great to see that fighters that are not legendary have some use.
Yeah,
I
I'm a.
just wish, yeah, I just wish that other classes would receive some love.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, what are epic champs getting? Dishpack's not getting used.
They're getting destroyed.
Yeah, they're getting
That's what they're
eating.
getting.
Yeah, that's it. Um, yeah. Um, all right. Uh, what is the number one change you want to see in Dotto?
I think I think I want a bit of nerf to these legendary rogues to restore the balance to the to like the game. Because even with reduced like stats or numbers, I feel like they can still do a lot of damage and fulfill their purpose, which is to destroy the gurus based on that class triangle we have.
Mm,
Um, Either that or do something with the the defense mechanics. But I think that playing around more with defense mechanics is not going to be great because um, defense is already pretty good. It's just that I think the main problem lies in the stats of those legendary rogues who use Sting.
mm.
Uh, but if you boost the defense, like the amount of damage reduction caused by it, I think that a lot of fighters will become useless again, and that's kind of not what I want to see.
Yeah, I can agree on that. The multiplier on Sting just seems way too high in our formula.
Well, yeah, but I think it's more so for special skills rather than Sting. Sting fighters usually have higher cooldown to offset the higher damage they have or the numbers on their agility.
Mm.
But when you have Sting that has no cooldown, potentially it's well, there's none of that anymore.
Yep. Or it's Sting with a priority.
Pretty much. It's a tricky question. Balance in general is a tricky aspect of the game, but I feel
Mm.
like that's what I would want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. Um. Okay. Your reputation as a Discord member. Now, you you are a bit of an interesting person. I think you're definitely aware of that. You do have
I
some
am.
some creative
Is
things that
this
you
a
say at times.
compliment?
You can read into it as much as you like. No, I think definitely unique, and you do bring some interesting things to the table. And sometimes it's just laugh at everything that you say. I think you're hilarious. Um,
No, thank you. I try.
yeah,
So I'm not sure what to say about myself. I think at the beginning I was a bit of timid, a bit of a shy person, and didn't really comment much on things. I
mm,
was really focused on the game, and I think slowly, as I grew tired of the game, my language started to change and my attitude. And now suddenly you will see me like trash talking people for doing things. And there will be a guy who posts something about his rogue line. I'm like, wow, you're using rogues, no champs in your band? Cringe. Get out of here.
unfortunately, just champs aren't in a great space at the moment. They're just it's
I
just
mean, yeah, I don't blame people for not using champs.
yeah,
I'm just a diehard champ fan, and it's like that playing those off meta picks in games.
yeah. I can definitely feel you. Even warlocks went behind with the superfuse, in my opinion, or further behind, just because they don't
Yeah,
have
I agree
priority
with
and they're
that,
squishy.
honestly.
Yeah, they're just kind of they're just like squishy
Yeah, they
champs now.
usually yeah, they usually have low health warlocks, and it's pretty bad. I mean, they're supposed to be like high damage dealers, but I feel like not all warlocks should be like glass cannons.
Nah,
Uh, Now I get that champs are supposed to have high health and defense, but why not make some warlocks have like high health and high wisdom, but
mm,
not much defense, something like that.
yeah,
Uh, it's an interesting thing to think about and maybe play around with stats in the future.
yeah.
But yeah.
Nah, that's
So back to myself as a Discord member. I'm glad people find my sense of humor interesting. I'm not sure where I exactly picked it up. I think it's just a mixture of my own element and watching certain YouTubers. Uh, but I guess that's it. Because after a while, some of those words start to go into my head, and I start using them. Words and expressions, I mean.
yeah. And you've also got
So
like
maybe that.
culture and stuff behind you as well, since we're all pretty multicultural in the server.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Mm. But no, I think you're. I can't say I know anyone that dislikes it anyway, so I think you're pretty popular.
Well, I think the only reason people would dislike me is when they lose to me in PvP. But besides that, I think it's fine.
Yeah, you might get the odd angry letter about getting goothed.
Oh, what are you doing? Why did you do this to me? I did not deserve this. I have 3 agility superfusions into my Hermes and you preempted me. How can you do this to me, Paul? Please.
Well, the best way for champs to be viable is to give them fucking rogue gear. That's why.
Yes, actually, that's
It's
true.
sad. It is so sad.
Oh my god, this is the. Wow.
We're just shitting on rogues for
Preempt is
half an
just
hour.
that good.
Yeah.
Imagine if they add this the champ which has preempt. How's it called? Farron the Fallen.
Yeah.
That that super OP legendary. Who's the rogue now? Oh
uh,
my god, I can see that the Dina went like all the way into power creep when they were introducing these four Seth legendaries in the old game. They really went ham. We had what like we had the double preempt champ. We had the immolate all with 20,000 health. We had thwart all with critical hit chance. Like random crits in Defender of Texel. Like please, can this get any worse? And then it got worse because they shut down the game.
the Emulate All also had Slack and all.
Uh
The Dragonfly All dude.
oh wait, I think actually it was Quicken.
Oh,
I'm
Quicken.
not
Yes, it
even
was.
sure
That's
anymore.
right. Yeah, it's Quicken, not Slacken. Still good.
Holy hell, that would have been interesting to see. I don't think I've actually seen one of those blow up like in the original game.
No,
But I don't
no.
think I was even playing at that time.
No, I wasn't playing, so I didn't see it, thankfully. Probably wouldn't have got me into Dotto.
Oh god.
Um,
Uh,
oh, are you saying something?
no, I was about that dragon. I think the skill was actually changed in this iteration of the game
Mm,
to be single target.
yeah, it was. Because it was in dungeon as an
Yeah, he
enemy.
was.
Yeah, he was single target. Um, alright. Your top three favorite fighters?
Okay, well, besides Guthar, I'll list another three that are not him.
Sure.
Um, I'm going to say Zertnai because
Mm,
he has like that nostalgic value to me. He was my first legendary, and
yep.
he was actually pretty useful in the old game, and I like the
Mm,
design.
mm.
Uh, Second one, I think. Hmm, this is a tough one. I think. Uh, it was another champ. I think I'm just not sure which one. Hmm. Holy hell, this is a difficult question. I didn't study for this test. I liked oh wait, it was the guru. I liked the Weed Santa. Jolfar Greenman was the name.
Ah, yep.
I really liked his design. It's really weird and wacky. So out of place, but so in place at the same time.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Uh, and another one, well, I'm not really sure. Hmm. The legendary rogue with the preempt all Magin or Majin, how is it pronounced? The lady on this like rainbow swan, I think. I actually didn't get to see her in action ever, which maybe is a good thing considering that she had preempt all, but I just liked the design.
Yeah.
I went through like the old wiki for this game,
Mm.
and I know it's ironic how Paul said that he likes the design of a rogue, but uh, I don't really hate the rogues that much, alright? Blame the lead dev for this game. Blame Lambo.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with liking the actual art of the fighters. That's what usually people go by.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's really difficult to pick because the game has so many unique designs, and some of them just seemingly don't fit into the Texel universe, but then you realize they do, and they all have this sort of aesthetic. I'm not even sure if I can call it the dot aesthetic because they all just kind of feel like it if it makes sense.
Mm. Yeah. There is some strange ones out there, like when they did a motorbike event. Yeah, just gays that fight as
Oh, yeah.
motorbikes.
It is strange, but I welcome the idea.
Hey, I don't mind. It was pixel art, so I'm a sucker for pixel art. Um,
Plus, motorbikes are pretty cool. No, I'm not gonna lie. I don't own one myself, but
uh,
so yeah, those would be my picks
awesome.
for my favorite fighters.
Yeah. All right. Your favorite moment in Dotto?
Hmm. Well, I could name a few,
You can go through a
but
few if you like.
okay, first the feeling when the Sundance event finally ended, and I could go back to living a normal life.
Yep.
The second one would be when I think okay, yes, the April Fool's event with the giant holy fuck enemy.
Yep. Yep.
That was really good, really well executed, I think.
Yep.
And the best part about it is that everyone was supposed to get 0 points, but someone got 1 point at the end of the event, and he was rank one. He hacked the system. I'm not sure how, but he just won.
It's not some sort of like
But yeah,
unfinished business exploit, was it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. That event was really well executed, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Um, then what else could be there? I mean, who knows? Maybe every day there's a potential for a great moment to happen because you're going to see some kind of tomfoolery in the chat or someone getting, I don't know, banned for something or whatever. But there are a lot of funny moments in the chat potentially every day.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think those would be my best moments. I could also say when Guthar was released, but I kind of, had a feeling it would come soon enough. So I wasn't 100, I wasn't 120% hyped about it, but just 100% hyped, if this makes any sense.
You knew he was coming. It was just a matter of time.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just glad I was able to play at that moment.
Yeah. That's always nice.
There's certainly more moments, but nothing that comes off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There was also this other podcast where Ozan he hosted it,
Mm.
and I was in episode 3, so that was also pretty hype. And at the time, I owned Conifenius, and I was basically one of like 3 people that owned it. And I think my identity was based around that fighter for a little while, which is not really a good thing to do, but I don't know, I guess it just became a part of me. It's not in my inventory anymore, but it was for the longest time.
Yeah. Yeah. Coney was kind of a. He was pretty good back then.
Yeah, he was really good. And then wisdom changes, and now, well,
Oh, he's. Superfuse might give him a chance, but yeah.
yeah, certainly. I just feel like the defense and wisdom changes really hurt a lot of fighters.
Mm.
But I guess it was meant to be because otherwise, why have defense if it doesn't reduce damage? It does nothing.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
just there to
much.
look pretty.
Yeah.
It's like wearing those. It's like wearing armor with no stats. Like it's just a vanity item.
Mm.
Like I'm going to wear a shirt into a battle, and I'm going to be surprised when I get stabbed by 15 people, and the shirt doesn't protect me from the sword. So I'm glad that those defense changes actually happened.
Were you there for the first day of the defense change?
Oh yes, I was. It was chaos.
I remember that one. That was during Lazar event, and oh boy, was Lazar a dick to beat after that.
Yeah, honestly, it was it, it was weird. It definitely took a bit of time to experiment with the numbers and to actually get it to a functional formula.
Mm,
And I think it's in a good place now. Well, mostly, but yeah, it's way better than than how it ever was, how it used to be.
yeah, it's definitely an improvement. I have a
Yeah, I
recording
agree.
somewhere on my computer of Atan during Lazar event, the day that the changes were made, with a max twin sawtooth doing 90 damage to a champion dungeon.
No.
I'm pretty sure it's like a
This
Lazara
this
dungeon.
is
Just like, okay.
this is the alternate timeline where champs are unbeatable
Yeah, for like
and
one day.
everything. Yeah, we achieved supremacy for one day, boys. We
Yep.
did it.
It wasn't always rogues.
Oh yeah. Actually, the metagame has really been evolving
Mm,
and was changing rapidly since the beginning. So back when trading wasn't the thing, everyone was just using champs to go through the story mode
yep.
because they had the most health, and you couldn't really get enough rogues from builds to make them useful because you need to get them to max set for the skill cooldown to be 0. So you just use champs, and I remember when I pulled an epic champ. Uh, it was a guy with a cannon. Like he's really trash, but at the time he was invaluable, and I was so hype.
Is it Jiaosha?
Uh,
It's the like
yeah, either
monkey with the
him or his
cannon.
recolor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either him or his recolor. It was really fun. So that's also a time when the champs reigned supreme.
Yep. Yep. I
It's
remember
because of the
that.
lack of trading, I guess.
Mm. Golbahar, Zalmoxis, and Bronze Nail.
Oh yeah, certainly. I had like 6 bronze nails over here, which I just bought for glue
They're like
like a long
rogues.
time ago.
You know how fast they are? They're basically rogues. Same as
Oh,
Zalmoxis.
yeah, they have like 1,000 something agility.
They were
They're actually
fast.
pretty.
It was,
So yeah, that's about it for the meta game. Champs and then trading and then rogues.
yep, Gold Fleece meta, basically.
Well, it is good to have something that can help new players out at least because while it was really fun and interesting for me to grind through story with my band of misfits, I think that a lot of people will find it really difficult, especially with the defense changes now, which also makes enemies more resistant. So yeah, it works both ways, and I think having access to trading now and getting those early early rogues is pretty good for new people.
Mm, yeah. Alright. Now, do you have any fond memories of the OG dot?
Hmm. Well, let's see what can my brain come up with because I was 14 at the time, so let's see what I remember. Uh, when I finally realized how classes other than champs exist, and I started investing into rogues, and at the end I had a line of Charoks, which were those crystal scorpions with preempt,
Yeah.
and they were really good. And suddenly people started messaging me on my wall with offers for my fighters. Like my wall was almost empty till then, and suddenly, boom! I want this. Can you give me this left line of yours? I will pay this much. And I was like, wow, people really like this fighter. That using Tishback, using the hippos, that was also
Mm,
really good for me.
yep.
So then getting Zertnai and the event with those where you collectively worked like to melt down like a frozen tree or something. Was that like unicorn legendary? I forget the name. Conan was the name, I think. I think
Um,
that was a really cool event and a cool concept. Instead of just, battling people and getting points for legendaries. Instead, here you like work together and you gain parts based on that.
yeah,
I feel like we need something like that in the new iteration of the game. It would be really cool, especially with this kind of close-knit community.
yeah, yeah. It would be cool if there was some sort of um cooperative play, I guess. But then I guess there's the issue that you run into. What happens if Jace and Dobro pair up or something silly like that?
Yeah, that's just how it is here. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just because of the small player base, and it wouldn't really work as well in the new dot as in the old one. But I
yeah,
still would be open to an idea like that.
yeah, yeah. No, it would be cool. Um. All right. So, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me?
Well, uh, I could ask you about a short recap of your own experience in Doro because I am interested in hearing other people's perspectives as well.
Yeah,
Just, a short recap.
that's fine. Because I was considering having a behind the swipes episode for myself if the votes were there. But obviously, since this is the last one, then I'm happy to share a brief bit
Oh,
of it. Um.
well, sure, go ahead.
So pretty much, yeah, I joined the Discord in February 2017. Um, Neil was the one that let me know about it since I've been friends with him since high school, since we were like 13 IRL. We used to go to the same school. Pretty much introduced me to this game. On release, it was absolutely terrible with the servers and whatnot. Eventually, it got good after they went away from 1-on-1. Played it for a bit. Went on like a 2-year hiatus after the Sundance rerun. Gave away all my crap. Came back at KO event, which I think was December of 2020 or January of 2021. And of course, there's been some events that have happened recently, and I had quit permanently as of 2 days ago, was when that happened. That was Friday.
All right, it's certainly interesting having a friend of yours introduce you to the game. Uh, so yeah, you were actually in the server for longer than I've been even.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
we've both seen a fair share of things. So yeah, when you say January 2021 was like that second comeback or whatever, it's actually pretty recently.
yeah. Well, it's
But
been 6 months ago, but yeah.
but yeah, I guess all good things must come to an end eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I could say for myself as well, because since I'm going to give away all of my stuff, I'm going to move on and, do other things as well.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I'll be posting a separate video after about why I actually did leave and why I did what I did because it can be viewed as not so good. But we'll leave that for that.
Well, yeah, we'll leave that when we get there.
Yeah, yeah. That's all good. Um,
So yeah, that was about it for me. I don't really have any more questions
yep. No, that's all
as
good.
of now.
No worries. All right then.
Anything else or
There is one last one here. Do you have any
all right?
tips for new players that are starting out?
Hmm. All right. Uh, so the new player experience has varied drastically over the course of the game, but for now, I think getting Smelion is the way to go. It's this this devil girl with preempt. Uh, Now, why am I saying her and not her recolor? Is because preempt all in story mode without super fusion is weaker than the single target ones because of the defense mechanics. So
Mm.
I think having a line of her would help out greatly for the story mode. As for other two lines, you can go for some gurus. It's really hard to get your hands on some proper gurus, but I think you might be able to work with a line of single targets as well. Later, eventually upgrade, but I think yeah, there are a lot of okay single target gurus available, which you can go for. I'm focusing mostly on single target because they're usually way cheaper than all target counterparts, and I think they do their job just as good as the all target ones. Um, as for champs, since we've concluded they aren't really that useful, I don't know. Do you go for champs? Okay, actually, you do need champs in the early stages of the game because you can't tank all of them with. You can't beat everyone with just rogues. Uh, there are thankfully a lot of cheap and okay champs out there that will carry you through the story. And and uh, when you do finally get through all the story stages, I think at that point you might know what to do for yourself. And actually, I have one more piece of advice, which is probably the best piece of advice I have, is to ask questions in the server if you have them, because the community is really happy to help at any time. And yes, don't be afraid to ask or experiment with fighter choices. And that's about it for me. And have fun, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with all those statements.
Yeah, maybe I went a little bit too much, like went a little bit too deep with the talk, but to sum it up, get a Smellion, get a few cheap champs and gurus, and ask questions if you have them.
Yeah,
That's about it, to sum it up.
yeah. I mean, the only one I'll throw in there on top of that is honestly make sure you place in every event. Don't just ignore the events. Even if you got like the absolute worst band, just participate because if you get, I think, top 200, you at least get something back. And a lot of the
Oh
times you
yes,
will get
that's
something that people want as well. So, and that's how you can get some resources early.
yeah, that's right. Since the community is smaller, you can place, and especially the active player base, you can get a crown in every event, I reckon, and they'll push you over the edge a little bit. It will give you a little bit of resources to start with, and it's going to snowball from there. Just be smart with resource management.
Yep, yep. Um, all right. Well, that's it for me. Anything else you want to bring up, Paul?
Well, nothing much really. Um, I just want to thank you for hosting the this podcast. And I want to thank Lambo for making this game, for making this possible.
Mm.
I want to thank the community. Uh, and congratulations on the two new moderators, which are Floop and Grum. They were promoted, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. So now we finally have two cool and good active mods in this server, which is really good.
Yep. No,
So yes, a
congratulations, Floob
huge
and Grum.
so yes, a huge thank you to everyone. And of course, thanks to Paul for participating in the podcast.
Yep. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Uh, yeah, no, it's a blast having you on here. And I'm glad that we're able to catch up and have a chat about some things because, yeah, you were definitely a very popular person that we wanted to hear from as well.
Well, yes, if it's based on the votes, a lot of people voted for me, but I
Mm,
know that since I've been in here for a long time, people naturally know me, and I don't know. I just did my thing and got popular.
Keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
All right.
Who knows? Champs might be relevant one day. After reset,
Well,
they may
maybe.
be relevant for a little bit as long as trading doesn't get released day one.
Oh, well, possibly.
Yeah.
One day Shams might be relevant. One day Paul might be a relevant YouTuber. Things like that.
Hey, man.
I mean, I guess I am relevant since I have over 100 subscribers. I'm so good.
Well, there you go.
Uh,
Let's double this channel.
I mean, I haven't uploaded anything for 7, 8 months because of university things. It's just how it goes.
Yep, yep.
But
No,
it is really fun, I have to admit, as a side hobby. As a hobby.
I can agree to that. It's definitely a different experience. And it's a good one. All right then. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, if you missed it, this will be the last Behind the Swipes episode with Paul and with just anyone in general. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching, I believe, the 5 to 6 videos. I am sorry, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a few. I hope you enjoy watching or watched all of those. And yeah, thank you again for tuning in. And thank you, Paul, for joining us.
You're welcome, and thank you for hosting Behind the Swipes. I hope I was worthy of the final episode.
Oh,
So,
mate, you're definitely worthy.
so thank you, everyone, and thank you, Hellfire, for hosting Behind the Swipes. And I think our time has come to an end, hasn't it?
Yep, yep, it definitely has. All right then. Yeah, in the next day or two, I'll release a separate video which is unrelated to Behind the Swipes, and then that will be the final video of the channel. Feel free to unsubscribe or whatever if you're not interested in hearing that, or yeah, just don't expect any videos after that, pretty much. But yeah, cool. There will be no poll, of course. And yeah, I just want to thank Paul again for being here, and yeah. Any shout outs or anything you want to give out to people?
Well, I could I could give a lot of shout outs. Well, let's see, off the top of my head, shout outs to, well, there are a lot of people. There's shout out to Ozan for making the prototype of the Dotto podcast and for being a great pal.
Mm.
Shout outs to Dobro Shrimp for having 6 Hermes and losing to my PvP line. So shoutouts to Neo for going with my jokes, you know, going with the flow. And shoutouts to all the mobs who are getting cyberbullied in the chat regularly.
Not as much anymore, but they will still get bullied, I'd like to hope. It's a part of the
that's
initiation.
sort of tradition.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
The dot server sometimes just feels like high school. You know, like when you try and get initiated into a group and then they make you suffer? I feel like that's the mobs.
Yeah, I think you're right. This does feel like high school. It's just on the internet this time.
Yep. It's just a high school class of 2020 then.
Welcome, class. Today we're going to learn about champs. I will be your mentor for today, Paul, and we're going to talk about defense and about the defense and about the health. Yes, it does really feel like high school. I'm gonna be honest. I miss high school.
Yeah, I do too. Don't worry. Cool.
Wow, I really dragged out this whole talk. I'm really good at dragging out simple concepts.
Mate,
It seems.
Works for me. That's just called more view time.
More content.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we will wrap it up for this one. So yeah, thanks again, Paul, for being on here, and thanks to all the viewers that are watching. And if you go back and watch all the other ones, if you haven't already, then that would be fantastic. There's quite a few different people that we've had on there, and some very interesting responses and personalities behind them. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a good one. Cheers.
Bye bye.
See ya.